welcome to Rapid Reviews Radio Podcast, episode 219. 219, 219, doesn't matter how you say it, it's all the same. I am your co-host, Kiley Wilde, and I'm joined by my ever-present co-host, Pete Beckett.
Hello, hi, howdy. It's all the same thing, innit?
Yes. Well, I
Is that what we're doing?
He said welcome, so yes. I get mixed up over on my channel, which is twitch.tv/KLEY_WILDE, where I say howdy, howdy, howdy. And sometimes I forget and I say welcome, welcome, welcome. Do you like that little plug I just did?
Yes, I do. There'll be plenty more plugs later, I guess.
Oh, that's what she said. It's not that kind of show, Pete. But what I like to do every week, first of all, is to make Pete facepalm. It's my favorite thing.
You've achieved it in a couple of minutes, so good work. Oh, first minute.
New record. But I do like to ask, what, Pete? Were you going to say something?
No, I was going to say I'm pretty sure it's been earlier than that.
Probably. And there's a reason I'm talking like this. I will explain that in a little bit.
Oh, talk like this.
This is my real accent. And there's a reason why it's back.
Oh, God, I think I know.
But anyway, I do. Every week, I like to ask our guests, but we don't have a guest today, so that means I have to ask Pete. I have to. Peek?
Peek? You're contractually obliged to call me Peek now.
Peek is Pete Beckett. Anyway, yes, how's your week been? What have you been playing?
Busy as all hell. And yeah, it's not been a very heavy week in terms of gaming, unfortunately, so I've not got a lot to talk about. But yeah, it's been a very, very busy week. I've been away for the weekend. I know, I'm fully aware.
Episode name, that's the episode name.
Fine.
I love it. You know I love it. That's
I know you do. Thanks, Mike. Really appreciate it. Cool. Yeah, so busy week. I've been away for the weekend. Been doing family-orientated stuff down in the Essex region of the country.
Yeah, I was waiting for that accent to come back.
I didn't come back with it this time.
You didn't?
No, I held off. I was making sure that I didn't. Thank God. So yeah, not been a lot to play, but I did pick up a new game, but I haven't had a chance to play it yet. Mike knows all about it because I posted it in the My Nintendo Discord. I bought Mario Party Jamboree, so I'm planning on playing that quite soon. Be on the lookout for that. But there has been one game I have been playing this week.
Oh, what is that?
Of course it's been Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth.
Yes. Yep. I could have guessed that in one.
Yes, you could have done. I am now up to chapter 10. I believe there's 12 chapters and an epilogue, and I'm about 40 hours in.
Holy crap.
I know,
That's like a work week.
I don't understand how I can't put this game down. It's just addictive. Not gonna lie, there is a few moments in the story where it feels like it's lumbering a little bit. A few bits of filler. This is a very typical RPG filler. But it's still very enjoyable. I'm not going to say too much about the plot because if you want to go and play it, then I'm not going to give too much away. But essentially, there are now 8 party members split into two different regions of the of areas that you've seen before in previous games.
Right.
Well, one that you've seen in a previous game and one that's set in the main area, which is Hawaii.
Nice.
So, it's been enjoyable and seeing where the plot is actually going. There's been a few good twists and turns so far. One that was incredibly obvious, but one that I didn't see coming as well, which is good. So I'm just waiting to see what the full resolution of it's going to be, but I think I should have this game done before the game of the year. Fingers crossed.
Excellent.
So yeah, that's my gaming this week. Kiley, let's talk your gaming. What have you been streaming this week? And how's your week been?
My week and the weeks hereafter have been so impacted. I'm so busy. I don't want to be busy. I want to just go to an island and sit there and have island time. But I can't. I have been out of the house from 8 a.m. until 11 p.m. at night, and then I just crash. Speaking of crashing, my car's brakes went out.
Oh my God.
I hit a pothole First of all, I had the MOT done, which for people in the U.S. that's inspection. I had to think there for a second.
Yeah, it's a
Yes,
yearly.
Jenny, yes, with margaritas, yes.
So yes, it's a yearly inspection that has to be done on cars that are over 3 years old, for anyone who's outside of the UK.
Yes, and so the inspection went fine. The guy passed me straight through. I don't even think he tested my car because my car is a thing of beauty. They drove it around for me. I might have said this last week, I don't know. But they drove it around, and like all the guys behind me were like, whoa, whose car is that? Oh my gosh, that's effing beautiful. Oh my gosh, you know, blah, blah. And I was like, my car. But, I know, that's why I bought it. I mean, for real. So I drove off, and then I hit a giant pothole, and then my car started leaking stuff, and I was like,
ooh.
I don't think cars are supposed to leak stuff, and then I went to push the brakes, and then it didn't stop, and it kept going, and I was like, I'm gonna die.
So you've basically cut your brake line and leaked brake fluid.
I cut the brake line, my own car. It was not a angry ex-wife or whatever it usually is in the soap operas. I cut my own line.
Through sheer stupidity.
Yeah, exactly. So I had to drive it up a giant hill, which in and of itself wasn't great because it was snowing. But then they worked on it, and then the next day they were like, your car's ready. And I was like, I'm not doing that. Sorry, it's snow on a hill, and I can't do that. And so they brought it to me. And now it works, and it's fine. And she's beautiful, and I love her. What? I throw money at a problem, and it fixes itself.
You're so middle class, it's unreal.
Don't worry. I get that all the time. I get called so much crap because I don't know. I just throw money at a problem, and people do things for me, and that's all I care about. Anyway, so that happened, and then I streamed a bunch. So I streamed my all-time favorite, of course, because I am, if nothing else, I am a assassination channel. I am a Hitman streamer, I believe.
I
because
think
Hitman,
you basically are at this point.
I think so. It's also my most watched streams and my most watched YouTube videos, and I also love it, so it's not going anywhere. It's going to be sticking around. But on top of that,
carry on doing it because it clearly gets you numbers. Do it, and you enjoy the game as well. But maybe what you should do, go through the world of assassination, and then when you finished it, you try to make sure that you do it in a slightly different way, which I know goes against every sensibility you have. Miss, I'm going to complete Fallout the exact same way every single time I play
every single time. I never choose a different faction. Anyway, and that's New Vegas. But, what was I saying? I was talking about something. Hitman, he's wonderful. Oh, I kind of want to do, I don't know. People in chat, I would love your opinion on this. I was kind of thinking of dipping into my journalism background. I'm kind of thinking of doing a deep dive YouTube video on Agent 47. But I don't know if that's just me being an aspie and just being a little bit obsessed with Agent 47, or if that would be something that's actually interesting to people.
In what way?
I'm fascinated. Like his whole origin story, theories about him, comparisons to him and Master Chief, because it's actually very similar. That kind of stuff. And it's just, that would be good, honestly.
I don't disagree. I just wanted to hear more stipulations on sort of how you would cover it. So
yeah, it would be an absolute, it would be a full deep dive, like his origins and stuff like that. Because I'll tell you what kicked it off. I can't help it. I have to nerd out for a second. See, Dennis is Kiley. I've done that several times for things I'm into. I'm starting to think that all the deep dives that are on there are either Aspies, autistic, or anyone who has like special interests, because they really go in, hard. That's what she said. But what did it for me was, my chat was watching it when this happened. On the very last, map or whatever of Hitman, you're in his mind, you're in his psyche.
Okay.
He stands up, and his left hand twitches. Like he's popping his knuckles and stuff, and I was like, not only is that anxiety, but that's left hand. That means Agent 47's left hand. So I started, that kind of kicked off the thing, and so I started looking. And there's not a lot out there So I kind of want to, deep dive. Jenny says yes.
You can't finish a sentence, can you?
I can't. No, I'm like full on ADHD tonight. It's bad. I'm unmedicated and full of wine.
So no different to normal then.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I guess that's not really different for you guys. So that was a thought. But outside of that, Wednesday we did our Weird Game Wednesday, which is we played the second part of an insane surrealistic game called Mouthwashing.
Oh,
and it's taking I think we're starting to figure out that our unreliable narrator, which is us, is a complete dickbag. I'm medicated with no wine. I think you're probably doing better than I am, Jenny.
That's a crap combination.
I think that's the best combination. Don't do this at home, people. But anyway, it's turned out that he's a complete dickbag. Our character. I'm kind of interested to see how it ends. It's definitely not it's not a game that I thought it was, but I mean that in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
And then the reason my dang blasted accent is back.
I've now figured it out. Thank you.
Because I've been playing Resident Evil 7. Holy crap. I kind of miss home a little bit. Which is weird to say when you're playing Resident Evil 7. But
I miss home with all the fingers and pancreases in the freezer. Yeah, that's a real great scathing indictment of what life is down in Hicktown, Texas.
But some of my best shorts I put up this week are from that. If you enjoy YouTube shorts, go check me out, because that I miss home. I have to be very careful because I have people who's watching. There are things about home that I miss, and I have to say, I explained to chat while we were meandering through the mud in the woods. Like, that's my whole childhood. That's what we did. We, you had to play outside. All the adults made us play outside, but they didn't like oversee us. They didn't like check on what we were doing. So we were like wandering in the woods and stuff like that, going down pipelines and crawling through ditches and playing in ponds that we should not have been playing in because we probably could have got malaria. That's not even a joke.
Or eaten by gators.
No, I've told the story. There's a place called Double Lakes where we used to go swimming, and it did have gators.
Down the watering hole.
Not quite a watering hole, but anyway, it was fun to kind of see that. But
would you say it's down the creek then?
Down the creek. But I have to say, I don't miss the mosquitoes, and I don't miss the smell of the mud, and I don't miss the heat. Because all that kind of brought it back.
But you miss the food and the memories.
The food. Oh my gosh, I do miss the food, and I do miss the kind of like wilderness, that kind of thing.
The thing is, you can move as far away as you can from your home area, but actually, there's always going to be some sort of ties and link to it. The memories are always going to be there, so there's always going to be something that makes you want to go back.
Well, there's that. What's that saying? You can take the girl. The heart is. Well, that too, but you can take the girl out of Texas, but you can't take Texas out of the girl. So, there you go. But I've actually enjoyed playing. I mean, all that nonsense aside, I have actually enjoyed playing Resident Evil 7. I've played it several times before, but it's been a while. We need that sting so I can just push the button and it does that.
Well, copyrights, we can't do it.
Well.
Girlfriend Stain probably doesn't have any money left, so
That's probably true. But that means next week I'm going to add in a new game that is out this month. I'm deciding between two because I am what's called a variety streamer. In order to be a variety streamer, you have to play. It's kind of dumb, but you need to play new and old games. I've been playing a lot of old games, and I've kind of since Star Wars Outlaws, I don't think I've even played anything new since then.
There's not been a lot out that's been relatively newish.
Exactly. But I think I've got 2 indie games. So, thank you, Jenny. Jenny says,
well, there is a game that you can play, but that'll be related to next week's episode. So.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
But not on stream, you're not allowed to.
Just because I have to throw this in there, I have to get it in any chance I can. That's what she said. I am 2 away from making affiliate over on Twitch. Yes, I'm pretty sure I'm actually 4 away because one of those is a bot and one of those is somebody that we banned and they have not been taken off my list.
Call it 4 then.
Yet. Yeah, I know. I've already told my chat that I know, no, I'm back.
That's what she said.
I've already told my wonderful, fabulous chat that I'm not going to celebrate it until I've got the absolute official email from
do it.
Twitch.
I still remember the day that we got the email on this.
I know, I remember it too. And we're gonna have a celebration stream. It's gonna be fun. I might do a giveaway. But anyway, it's going to be fun. And then I have tons. I know we need to move on because this is rapper reviews. But I do want to say, I've got a lot of plans. And I'll probably talk more about this at the end of the show. But this goes out to our listeners. If you're looking for a place, if you are an outsider, a misfit, a weirdo, an oddball, if you've been called any of that, you have got a place at the Dragon Cave. Where it is a judgment-free place. In fact, Brent gave me a very, very sweet compliment. He doesn't realize how much it touched me because I didn't tell him. I should have. But he did say, I love coming here because there's no judgment. And that, my friends, that is what we have at the Dragon Cave. No judgment, all exception. Everyone's accepted. The only rule is, as I burp up my Prosecco, the only rule is we don't hurt people. That is a big no-no. We don't hurt anyone. So, but outside of that, come as you are, like the Nirvana song says, and have some fun with us and get me to affiliate, because once we hit affiliate, we are going to just to the moon, like Elon Musk says.
Or Jackie Gleason.
Yeah, that too. Jenny says, "Woo, medication and wine at the Dragon Cave." Yes, exactly.
Just not in that order.
But yes, Pete, I think that's enough of my nonsense. I'm going to toss it back over to you as I drink the rest of my bottle of Prosecco, and we talk about the gaming news this week.
Good God, it feels like ages since we've done a gaming news episode, right?
No. Yes.
And it might be a little while more before we do another one, so let's...
Yup.
So, right. So we've got a lot. I would say we've got a lot of news to cover. We haven't got that much. Some big stories, and one that might take a little bit of a while. But I'm going to spin a yarn on that a little bit later. But we'll talk about one of the biggest ones that came out over the last week or so, because it was one that was related very closely to us.
Right.
Because UK games industry show WASD has been permanently cancelled as the company behind the event enters liquidation.
I do want to talk about this.
Yeah, so let's read the story and then I can give we can talk it.
Yeah.
So, citing skyrocketing. By the way, this comes from VGC. Most of the sources for today are VGC, but I'll tell you when the one I'm not using is VGC later on. So, citing skyrocketing industry costs, the event, which showcased the best of the UK's independent games industry, is no more. Co-founder David Lilly told the BBC, increasing costs and less demand for stand space means running events is just not viable for us anymore. So, independent publishing label Lost in Cult commented on the news, stating, "We are devastated to hear about the news about WASD. Our first ever book stand was at WASD." This is obviously written on Twitter, so yeah. We got eyes on our work from people who otherwise would not have come across us in online spaces. So, a little bit of background to WASD. If you didn't already know, please go and check out the episode that we did on WASD. We've done...
I'm completely drunk.
I know, but we did two, actually, where I covered the first year.
That's true.
And gave you a roundup of all it. But I actually think our second year one was much better because I really liked the format in which we did it.
It was so good. I loved it so much. And I also drink a lot of vodka, but yes.
Yes, you did. But it was also the fact that I just generally enjoyed our time at the show because it was the first time me and you ever met in person as well. So WSD was formed in the wake of EGX Res, another UK-based industry show that also focuses on indie games. WSD was one of the UK's last video game events open to the public. Yes. So EGX, the UK's largest gaming show, is now part of MCN Comic Con, which with both shows held together. Fans who attended the event earlier this year claimed that the EGX portion of the show was much smaller than the previous years, with little support from large publishers. The official website for WSD went offline earlier this year, leading many to speculate for the future of the event was in peril. So it had previously showed off games like the BAFTA-winning roguelike Vampire Saviors, which was at its very first show. And that's the story. So, this sucks.
Yeah, it sucks massively.
I'm going to pass this over to you in a minute, but I'm actually going to turn around and say if you want to hear my thoughts, my speculation, and general opinions about what happened, go and check out the Game Chat podcast with Mike Tendo64 and Gorney, where we did a deep dive into WASD's cancellation. That's actually up on YouTube and podcast players, I believe, so I'll link it in the show notes, but please go and check that one out because my microphone wasn't great that day, but I was just able to jump on a whim and just record it with them. So
that's good.
It was a very interesting discussion. We sort of went into sort of what we would do to sort of try and help resurrect the UK gaming scene as well to some degree, and some thoughts that we had on it. So I'll pass this over to you, but I'll summarise some of what I think in a minute.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, I'm coming at this. I'm going to take my silly, goofy co-host hat off and put my actual businesswoman hat on for a second.
An events organizer.
An events organizer, media spokesperson, media, everything. 20 years marketing experience. So, yeah, sorry, I got to be serious for a second. The main problem that seems to affect all of these situations, these... I don't even know what to call them at this point. These event companies, it's debt. It's debt. They are going in debt to produce something. You don't do that. I know that's like a long-standing rule is you have to spend money to make money. No. No, you don't. I am living proof. People don't listen to me because I'm a woman. Listen to me on this one. So what a lot of these companies have done, like I said, they've started already in debt. I believe at the WSD, one of the people that wanted a booth, which is I've forgotten his name. Oh, well, it's in the past. It doesn't matter. He reached out to them, and it was like thousands of pounds for a small booth.
Ridiculous.
This is an indie showcase. You can't do that. You just can't. You just can't do that. And I did notice they had a lot of things that I thought they've put way too much money into this thing and no money into this thing.
Yep.
To go into it would be very, very boring. But if you'd like to hear about it, I'd love to do it. But anyway, so I've noticed this is not just WSD. It's EGX. It's Insomnia. It's all they're all in liquidation because of debt.
Well, and also Insomnia went down earlier on this year anyway.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. They're all folding and up. Let me see. Nana says, "Am I right in thinking that these events are usually run at a loss for the owners? They are. They're run at a loss. I cannot imagine. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit heated, but making money is what I do. That's, believe it or not, that's a weird thing to say, but making money is what I do for a living. And you do not start a business at a loss. I am absolutely flabbergasted. Because I'm a nerd where this stuff comes up. But yeah, I hope that New Game Plus thing can at least... That they will, but that's because they've got money behind them.
We'll see on that one.
I kind of lost my train of thought there. Sorry. Yeah, you don't start You don't start at a loss. That's if you're already at a loss,
Don't
cut
bother.
the cord.
Yeah.
Don't bother. Don't bother. Because all you're gonna do is lose more. I cannot understand. I cannot. It's such a. I've been in business making money for 20 years. I cannot understand how you would start something at a loss. I'm just flabbergasted. Breaking even, I can kind of understand that. A couple of my first businesses, it was just breaking even, and then I sold them. Because that's what I do. People always ask what I do. The quickest and easiest way to sum it up is I start businesses, I invest in them, and then I sell them on for a profit. And it's made me a butt ton of money, and I'm financially secure for the rest of my life. People still don't want to listen to me. Don't start a business at a loss. You do not have to take out loans. If you have to take out loans, you are not ready. You need to have capital. Now, you can raise capital from your family and friends. They won't like you afterwards, but you can do that. Do not take out a loan. Do not use credit. I have said this for years, and that is how they do. Nana says, thing is, I would argue they have to start loss or not, because indie cons are just dead right now, and this was before the pandemic. I think, here's the thing. If you wanted to do an indie con, get a group of indie developers together and put your money together. Go in it all together, and then everybody wins. I don't understand this starting a business at a loss. If I started any of my businesses at a loss, I would not be sitting here talking to you from a massive manor and my freaking beautiful sports car out there. I would be talking to you from probably an apartment, one-room apartment, shivering my ass off in some really crappy computer setup. And
hang on, I got it.
Yes, exactly. Jenny, yes.
No, I was going to get to that.
Yeah, we're going to get to that. I'm sorry, I'm very, very passionate about this subject, and I do know it's very boring to the average listener, and I apologize for that, but it is something that I'm very, very, very passionate about. I love games. I love the game industry. I love the indie community. They are amazing. I go and I talk to them at all these events. I've been to Debug, the Debug Awards that were in Nottingham
well,
in February
not really a
this year.
gaming convention. It's just a.
No, they're not. But I'm saying
it's just an
that's
awards
where.
event.
Yeah, but that's where indie people.
Yeah,
Hello,
of course.
Flame.
Hello,
How are
Flame.
you? But I'm saying I've networked with indie people at all these different events. There are people there. There's numbers there. You just need to not start a business at a loss. If you are being told that, first of all, if you're learning that in school, get rid of that professor. If you're learning that because somebody's teaching you that, they're lying to you. You do not start a business at a loss. You start a business with capital. What is capital? Capital is untaxed cash money. I'm just like, what is wrong with you people?
Well, the problem is that the business world seems to run on nothing but credit,
exactly.
and that's how most things are done nowadays. And I was talking over the weekend.
I have money.
Yeah, but this is why I was talking to someone over the weekend, and they were like, "Well, why don't you get a credit card to take out when you go on your honeymoon?" I'm like, "But I don't want a credit card.
No.
Like, I do not want a credit card. Like, I don't want to live in credit. I want to make sure that I live within my means."
Yes, if you've been a listener, and hello, Flame. He said, "I'm good. How are you?" I'm good. I am ranting about money, my favorite thing. If you've been a listener and a watcher of this podcast for the last 5 years, you know I've said this, and I'm going to say it till the day I freaking die. No credit cards, no loans. I've never had a credit card. I have never taken out a loan. I have zero debt. What, my mortgage?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that on purpose because it gives you a good standing, blah, blah, blah. But I can turn around and pay my mortgage off next week if I want.
But that's the thing, is you've got, obviously, like, it gets you onto the ladder and all that. Like, to get yourself set up, it's a little bit different, you know?
Yeah, I would say
you have capital at the end of it, basically.
I was going to say, like, I know most people aren't set up like I am, so yes, a mortgage is a completely understandable, normal debt. Sorry. But my car is paid for by cash. I could turn around and pay my house off for cash tomorrow, but I don't want to because I want it to look good.
And also, if you decided to make an early payment, one, you'll be charged extra, and two, you might.
Yeah, I mean that is true too.
And based on,
There's a penalty.
I'm also
There's a
not.
penalty for
There
paying
is,
off
but I'm
work.
also not going to go into too much about what I actually do for work. But that would get someone like me looking into you.
Yes.
Let's just say that.
He's right. Yes, he is correct. So yes, I know I'm sounding like I'm nuts and I'm passionate, but it is because I am sitting here. Most people my age, I feel terrible for them. They're in thousands, hundreds of thousands of pounds and dollars in debt.
Yep.
Because of loans, because of credit. So then those people want to start a convention. What do? They go for the credit card.
Yep.
Now, there are two rules if you do anything in business. And yes, running a convention is a business. There are two rules. One, no credit. Well, I guess it's three rules. No credit, no loans, capital only. Two, pay your people. Pay your people first.
Or if you're unable to pay your people, just put it up as a volunteer job to start with, and then state once your business is able to make money, then you can put on salaried people.
I mean, you can do that, and you can incentivize volunteers. You absolutely can.
Yeah,
that is correct.
But this is actually a conversation that was happening in the Mike Tendo Discord. Is actually
was it?
Certain people were doing conventions and weren't getting paid at least certain things like you can pay them a meal. You can make sure that they're covered to eat and have a few drinks whilst they're there, and that's something you can do to start with. Then once your business starts to make money, then you can take them on as potentially either salaried people or freelance people.
Yeah, because people are not going to work for free. They're not. And when you're running any kind of business, and right now we're talking about conventions, but if you're running any kind of business, your reputation is everything. If the reputation gets out that you work people, you're a slave driver, you work them to the bone, and you don't give them anything, nobody's going to come work for you.
Yeah.
If it gets out that, they're so fun, it's such a fun environment, we're all treated so well, they feed us all we can, until we're overstuffed and blah blah blah, boom, reputation far and wide. I gotta go over there, I want to volunteer for that. Then you got free labor. Gani says, I have credit cards but pay them off at the end of the month. Some people can do that, and I always applaud people who can do that. I absolutely, my hat is off to you.
Yeah, I agree as well.
But there's a lot of people, especially where I grew up, who are currently in thousands, tens of thousands of dollars in debt from credit.
Yep.
And then they turn around and they want to start a business. Nope.
No, don't do it.
Nope.
No,
capital only. Capital only.
Never, ever, ever live outside of your means. If you can't afford to do something, don't do it.
That's right. You start I'm sorry, I know, this is something I'm very, very passionate about. I've talked about it on Twitter years ago. I've talked about it on Facebook. I'm going to talk about it here. I've talked about it here. I'm going to talk about it again. Let's say you were living one way, all of a sudden you've lost your job, or just the economy's turned or whatever. You start freaking cutting things. You have to suffer. It sucks. But you don't need that Netflix. You don't need that Disney. You don't need, Disney Plus or whatever. You start cutting everything. It's only temporary. And then you build back up. Anyway, I'm saying all that because I ranted. The poor guy that I take care of. I ranted 3 or 4 hours. No, it wasn't that long. But it was a good 20, 25-minute rant about all of these events, places closing. It's because they start with debt.
Yes.
Just listen to me. I am older than I look. I have a lot of money. I am very successful. Do not start a business in debt.
No.
Don't start anything in debt. Mana says the problem with that is right. There's no culture for indie cons right now in London. Oh, okay. Nana's hit a key term right here. I know there's a lot outside, and no one seems to want to raise it right now, which is a problem, because it's like you're telling the capital of the UK can't have anything but EGX and a con that we know nothing about. Valid point. That's not a great plan, and will kill games in London for a bit if no one comes in to raise it up at the moment. I wished I was over there.
Well,
I wish I was over there.
I completely agree, but I actually think there is a much larger issue at hand.
Oh, what is that, Pete?
We actually have a couple of bodies, and I mentioned this on the Mike Tendo 64 Game Chat podcast, we have two main bodies within the UK games industry that actually should be doing a hell of a lot more to help prop up indie developers, but are doing absolutely nothing really in the way to help them.
Okay.
That is BAFTA and Yuki. And they should be doing so much more to support the UK games industry rather than going to Parliament and trying to make sure that AAA developers are well looked after rather than the indie developers.
Well, that's why...
the indie developers are the ones that are going to keep the industry afloat because people are losing faith in the AAA industry.
Exactly, Pete. And that's why if I was over there, and hopefully someone over there is like me, I'm not that special, believe me. But if I was over there, what I would do is I would start a coalition of indie developers.
Mm-hmm.
You start that. You start a limited liability, an LLC is what it's called.
That's technically what Debugger's starting to do to some degree, but probably not nearly enough, let's say.
Right. Well, Debug is a different entity. It's not really a developer.
Oh, I know it is, but they're doing a lot to highlight the industry, the indie games industry.
Absolutely, they are, and they should be applauded for that.
Yeah,
but
I completely agree.
I'm just saying hypothetical. If I were an indie developer, or if I were over there, I would start a coalition of London-based indie developers because there is a whole freaking lot of them.
Honestly, I wouldn't even just say just London because there's so many indie game developers all over the country. Start small to start with.
I was going to say, Pete, you have to start small. And
but then the problem is you start to fracture it all. You've got London, and then you've got Manchester, then you've got Newcastle. How do you then try to bring them all in together?
You don't, because we're about making money here.
Okay.
Making money is you put everything in a little box. So you just do London indie developers. You start a little coalition. You start your own. Oh, wow, it did well. We actually made a freaking profit. Guess what? Then you go to Manchester. Hey, or whoever. I don't know the area of everything.
Yeah.
You go to Manchester. You say, hey.
So essentially you do like a south and southeast, basically, London and Cone counties. Go southwest.
Small.
Then you go to like the Midlands. You do northeast or northwest and stuff like that.
What I've noticed about, like I said, I've been in professional marketing and media for over 20 years. I know, again, yes, I look young. You just gotta have to trust me on that. And one thing that I've noticed in the new generation coming up, no patience, none. They want it now. That's why they're using credit cards.
Of course, yeah.
No, you cannot build anything fast. You cannot rush into anything. Everything must be slow and methodical. It has to be year by year by year, and you add increments and blah, blah, blah. Otherwise, exactly what's happened these last 2 years is going to happen. The bottom's going to fall out. Nobody's got money. Everybody's got debt. The people that are making the money are the people who own the debt. And yes, that's what happens when you have debt. There are companies that buy your debt, and they make money off of you.
Yes, because they buy that debt for pennies on the pound, and they make back an absolute profit on it. Ooh, I work for a debt collection agency. I know how that works.
I know. I didn't want to go that direction, Pete, but yes, and he knows, and it's the truth. And I'm sorry again. I know this sounds like a rant, and I do apologize, but I can't do a lot of things in this world. But one thing I can do is make money, and I have made a lot of money.
So let me ask this one before we actually close this out, because I still want to say go and listen to the Game Chat podcast.
Yes, go do that for sure.
Why aren't you making your own convention then?
Yeah, so why am I not making my convention? So people who don't know, Pete and I were going to start Fanfare Belfast.
I know, I mentioned this.
Literally right before COVID hit. Ireland. We shut down for 2 years, not one.
Yeah, we were planning this in 2020 before the COVID lockdowns happened. I had a ticket booked. Everything.
Like everything. And I already had the venue, and I was starting to contact indie developers because it's going to be indie based, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And I had the full support of everyone, and then Ireland shut down. So, since Insomnia, and then EGX, and then now WSD, I have been like fighting the itch so hard.
Do it.
I think
Just do it.
I'm not ready to publicly announce it yet, but do not be surprised if you hear in 2025 an announcement that yes, Northern Ireland is going to have, yeah, exactly, itch the itch.
Scratch
Northern
that
Ireland
itch.
is going to have the biggest gaming convention it's ever seen. Keep your eyes and your ears peeled, but I can't do it right now. Everyone's telling me not right now, so I'm going to step back because I have a problem of, if you heard the intro to this, I throw money at problems because I have a lot of money and a lot of problems.
Look, I better be the first to know. I better be.
Oh, you absolutely will be. Absolutely.
Look, I don't care. I'll volunteer if I have to
But
do
I will
anything.
absolutely put my... I can
Money
touch
where
right
your
now,
mouth.
right?
No.
I can freaking put my money where my mouth is. Everything I freaking touch is a success, and that's not a brag. That's just, I'm a nerd.
How it
I'm an
is.
Aspie. It's not, yeah, it's that's boring data facts.
Yeah.
Because I know how to play the game, and when it comes to money.
Yep.
So keep your eyes and ears peeled. But I'm so fired up. I can't help it.
Right, well, that went a lot longer than I thought it was going to.
I know. I knew I was going to get fired up, though, because I've been thinking about it so much.
It's fine, because actually, let's use that fire to talk about money again.
Okay, I do like money's my favorite subject.
Let's do that, because From Software's parent company, Kurokawa, has confirmed that it has received a letter of intent from Sony to acquire the company.
Not surprised on that one. I actually think that's a good idea.
Wait for it.
Okay.
So, earlier this week, it was reported by Reuters, citing two sources familiar with the situation, that talks between Sony and Kurokawa are ongoing. Now, a statement from Kurokawa reads, "There are some articles on the acquisition of Kurokawa Corporation hereinafter the company by Sony Group Inc. However, this information is not announced by the company. The company has received an initial letter of intent to acquire the company's shares, but no decision has been made at this time. If there are any facts that should be announced in the future, we'll make an announcement in a timely and appropriate manner." So, who are Kurokawa? Kurokawa own a majority of shares in From Software, as well as several anime production houses. They also own Dwango, which is a Japanese telecoms and media company that owns developer Spike Chunsoft, who were recently responsible for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Earlier this year, it also bought Acquire, the studio known in recent years for Octopath Traveler 1 and 2 and Mario Luigi Brothership.
Oh, right.
So, as a result of this, the share price has shot up this week, closing an increase of 23% to reach an all-time highest value.
Wow.
So, what does this mean?
I think it means Sony's going to own everything.
Well, yes and no.
Uh-huh.
It will mean that they own quite a lot.
Yes.
The fact is that Nana's put this correctly in the chat. He says, "This will probably be more related to Kurokawa's anime-owned business rather than From Software, because Sony owns Crunchyroll and what used to be Funimation." This depends solely on what Japanese monopoly laws are like. Because if they own Funimation and Crunchyroll, trying to own Kurokawa might mean that monopoly play is in order and it could get blocked. But it might mean that certain parts of the business will have to get split up, and one of the things that might get split up is that certain video game acquisitions might happen, but the anime side might not happen. Or it might mean that, who knows? Anyway, so eventually it could be the case that From Software and few other companies like Acquire are actually owned by Sony. But this is not specifically SIE are going out to try and own just the video game side of things. This is Sony's parent, like the parent company, Sony Interactive or Sony Group, trying to get their fingers in a lot of media pies.
That is a wonderful visual. I say if this happens, it's a really good get for Sony. I mean, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense.
It does.
From Sony's point of view.
Yes, but I have a huge problem with this again because it's another massive industry like Titan owning another industry Titan.
Everything.
And it just means that consolidation is another thing that is happening within several industries, meaning that there's not going to be a lot of competition here, there, and everywhere as a result.
Well,
and I nearly swore there. The freaking fanboys are really annoying the living hell out of me at the moment because they came out in full force like, Xbox owning Activision Blizzard is a bad thing, but now them owning, like Sony owning From Software is the greatest thing in the world.
Well,
sorry, it works both ways. I don't like it in either way. If Nintendo did it, I still wouldn't like it.
Well, but see, here's what I think. Sony bought Bungie.
Yep.
And Bungie went to crap.
Yes.
So if Sony buys From Software, we'll never. No, I'm not gonna say that's gonna be too mean. That's too mean.
No, it will not because From Software have had a very good working relationship with Sony over the years.
I know,
including Demon's Souls being a PS3 exclusive, Demon's Souls Remake being a PS5 exclusive.
If we were to get serious for a minute, that's
Bloodborne
actually
being
what I'm
PS4
thinking.
exclusive and still locked to the PS4 and at 30 frames per second and never having a remaster.
When I said it makes sense, that's really what I meant. But then I wanted to tease our Blood Souls fans. Bye, Jenny! Thank you so much. It's so good to see you.
Yes.
It's a heart, but I'm drinking.
Cool. Right. Anyway, carry on.
I'm just saying that it made, like, for a minute of seriousness, it makes sense for Sony to own From Software. It just does. That's really all I can say. It just makes logical sense.
Yes, it does, but I'm worried about industry consolidation. That's all it is. I just don't want to see these companies being owned by one of the major free players within the video games industry.
But see, what I'm thinking is going to happen, again, don't listen to me on this. Listen to me about money. Don't listen to me about this, because I was very wrong about Elon Musk and X, Twitter, blah, blah, blah. And I wasn't that on target with Activision and Microsoft acquiring them either. I wasn't too far off, but I do think at the end, as we go on, all the games are going to be multi-platform. I think we're kind of coming to that era. Cross-platform is really what I meant, not multi-platform.
Well, it's basically already happened. Nintendo, the only one technically that are not doing it.
But I could see them with this next iteration that comes out. It's going to start to become cross-platform, and I think that's the way it has to be. So at that point, I'm gonna be honest. As a consumer, this is purely as a consumer. I don't care. Just give me my game. Let me play it. And again, that's from a consumer point of view.
Well, from a consumer point of view, I just don't like the fact that regardless of whatever way that you look at it, Sony, Microsoft, or Nintendo are going to be the ones that win out on this one.
I mean, but that's the thing.
What I don't like about it.
I think we're always going to have, and you know, again, I'm happy to be wrong about this, but I think we're always going to have that Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo echelon here, and then everyone else down here, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
so,
but if you remember, it used to be freaking Atari, Sega.
Yes.
Yeah, there were many more. There were many more, and then
there were
large industry costs meant that some of them couldn't keep up in terms of the hardware space, and somewhat in the software space either.
Who is it? It's not Tencent, is it? No, it was. Who was it that bought up all the little companies? Was it Tencent? Embracer Group. That was it. Thank you, Pete. Embracer Group is an absolute perfect example of this. They kept buying things, but they didn't know how to run it.
But they were trying to consolidate the entire video games industry, and doing it in a major way, like too fast, too quickly, and the bottom fell out.
Yeah, because they didn't have any plans. They had no roadmaps, no plans, no exit strategy. They just kept buying things.
I think most people would think that Microsoft also don't have those plans either because they still haven't released many first-party games. I think most people would also argue that Sony's first-party offering on PlayStation 5 has been piss poor at best.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to...
Because it has been. It's been awful.
It has.
$400 million on Concord to shut it down 2 weeks later and shut down the studio a month after that.
Yes!
That's pretty awful.
I just don't know. I don't know what's going on with the industry as a whole. But we've talked about this before.
Comes back to it. Too much credit.
Don't get me angry. Don't get me
I know. Anyway, let's move away from acquisitions.
I'll start a publishing company next. I mean, I already do have a publishing company for books.
Anyway, let's talk about some new features, shall we? Ooh,
sure.
New features. Do you remember the PlayStation Portal?
Barely, because it was stupid. It was stupid and dumb, and I don't care who disagrees with me. That was stupid and dumb. Mike Tindo says, and yet Nintendo will print out multiple first-person titles year after year. I mean...
First-party titles, I think he means.
Oh, yeah. Well, I knew what he meant, though. Yeah. Nintendo, they know what they're doing. They've got old tech and expensive games, and they still make a profit.
and yet the problem with Nintendo is re-releasing old games constantly and making money on them.
But I was gonna say, but they're making money.
Doesn't matter. That is an absolute. It's still a disgrace.
Well, yes, you have to look at it from 2 points of view. Consumer, that's an absolute disgrace. Businesswoman.
Yeah, business side, yes. It's great business, but from a consumer side of things, it sucks ass.
Yes.
Right, so like I said, you remember the PlayStation Portal. You said it sucked.
It sucked. It's stupid. It's a stupid idea, and I don't care. I'll argue anyone with that.
Okay, well, it might be a little less sucky in your eyes then. Because the PlayStation Portal is getting cloud streaming.
Okay, that makes a bit more sense. Okay.
So the beta of it was launching on the day that the article went live, which was the 19th, so a couple of days, or 5 days ago from now, when we record. So the streaming service will allow PlayStation Plus Premium, for God's sakes, Premium members. Yep, so locked behind...
Well, you knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, but it's still locked behind the highest paid tier of a subscription service that is absolute crap anyway. To play a selection of 120 PS5 games, including Dave the Diver, Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Monster Hunter Rise, and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. The streaming games playable on PS Portal are limited to PS5 games, with PS3 and PS4 currently not supported. It's not clear if this will change when the feature comes out of its beta test period and gets a full release. So games will be streamed in 1080p 60 frames and will include all DualSense wireless controller features, including haptic feedback, adaptive triggers, speakers and touchpad, which will be emulated on the touch screen for PS Portal. So this is currently available to those PS Plus Premium members in Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Canada, Croatia, Czech Republic, and list of other... We don't really care. It's available in the UK and the US because that's where most of our listener base is.
Yes.
So it's also... PlayStation have also confirmed that features like game trials, streaming games, purchased on PS Store, assistance features such as party voice chat and game invites for select games, create button, 3D audio, and in-game commerce won't be available as part of the beta, but are currently planned for the full release.
Wow. 2019's calling. Where are you?
Well, the annoying thing is I keep seeing the PS Portal going down in price, and I'm tempted to pick one up, even though they kind of suck. Mostly because the PS5 is in here, in the office, and I don't always want to be sat at my desk. It's the same principle as why I've been tempted by a Steam Deck, because I don't always want to be tied to my computer. So it would be quite nice to have a device that I can just play my PlayStation away from the console. But apparently it's an absolute ball ache to set up in the first place, because you need decent Wi-Fi connection.
You gotta have, PlayStation has to be on.
The PlayStation has to be on, so it's always using power anyway, so I might as well just go and sit at the PlayStation and use it.
exactly.
So
No, I think it was a very bad idea.
yeah, but I do think this is a little bit of a better idea to make it at least somewhat more relevant in terms of that price that you pay for it, because I think it's still overpriced for what it actually is. It's just an Android device that streams games. That's it. Oh, look, it's got a funky, like, it's got the Sony OS on it. Great. Oh, it's got 2 halves of a DualSense on either side of it. Wonderful. Yay. It does look comfortable, but, you know. It
does.
But yeah, this is kind of still... It's still not worthy of that price point for me. Even if it does go down to about 100 quid, I still probably wouldn't pay for it.
Right.
So, yeah, but for those who are interested in those, and you got a PS Plus premium subscription, fair play. Might be adding a few new things for it. Right, to the big one. To the big things that have been going on over the last week. We all know what time of the year it is, so let's just make no bones about it. It's the Jeff Keighley Awards moments.
Yes.
We're getting closer and closer and closer to the absolute crap show that is the Game Awards.
It's true.
So, this week has been a bit of an interesting one because we'll finish up by talking about some of the nominations.
Okay.
But let's just say there were a couple of controversies even before the nominations came out.
Right.
So let's go to this story from VGC. The Game Awards confirms that DLC, remakes, and remasters will be eligible for Game of the Year.
I know why. Same reason we made it.
Oh, we all speculated on what it could be, but we'll talk about that in due course. So, this article will be linked. It was written on the 17th. So, this Monday, producer Jeff Keighley's annual award show will announce the shortlist for the games for each of its categories. In an FAQ posted to the award show's website, which, might I add, was quietly included on there. Very quietly. Has confirmed that DLC expansions, remakes and remasters are eligible for the shortlist. So the website now reads, the Game Awards aims to recognise the best creative and technical work each year, irrespective of the format of the content's release. Expansion packs, new game seasons, DLCs, remakes and remasters are all eligible in all categories. If the jury deems the new creative and technical work to be worthy of a nomination, factors such as the newness of the content and its price/value should be taken into consideration.
Oh, goodness.
So, jury members for the Game Awards were made aware of the inclusion of the DLC, remakes and remasters ahead of submitting their nominations. Let's not go into that because that's just a fluff piece for obviously What About the Game Awards.
Yes.
So, we had this. And a lot of people obviously speculated that there was a major expansion that came out this year. Might I add, not a standalone expansion that came out this year that would probably go up for Game of the Year. Elden Ring's Shadow of the Erd Tree.
Yeah.
We will come back to that in a minute. Because I'm using a different source for this one because I couldn't find it covered on most of the websites that let's just say that might have voting privileges on the Game Awards.
Oh, right, of course. Well, that makes sense.
Because it has been noted, by the way, that actually after a lot of extensive research, and it's probably on the FAQ part, you do know that the Game Awards... Yes, the Game Awards that's supposed to be about the gamers. The voting public actually only has 10% of the vote.
Yes.
With 90% of the critics actually having that.
Yeah.
And with there being consolidation within the video games industry and the review sites such as VGC, Eurogamer and all that being owned by major conglomerates, it means that some major conglomerates get quite a lot of votes, actually. So they can spin it however way they want it.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's just a little aside because
a little editorial.
Coming from that Park Place, so Jeff Keighley tries to trademark the Game Awards.
Jeff Keighley can do whatever he wants. He's adorable.
So there is a reason behind some of this as well. We'll go into that, but there is there is potentially another awards show that might be going on in January that has been set up by someone else that this might be aimed at trying to take down. Let's get into that.
Okay.
So, Jeff Kiley has attempted to trademark the Game Awards. This move could cripple independent creators and smaller outlets that run their own video game award shows, such as Side Scroller's upcoming The Real Game Awards show. Yeah. So let's go into this. So Kiley started the Game Awards in 2014, and I actually forgot that he was what was he? It was Christ, what was the original show called? The TGAs?
Something like that, yeah.
No, the VGAs, sorry. Video Games Awards, yeah.
Yes.
So he was actually one of the producers on the VGAs.
And he was adorable, Pete.
The Dorito Pope. The Dorito Pope. Come on. Let's not forget about the Dorito Pope. I don't forget about the Dorito Pope.
He's adorable. I love him.
So
my pocket.
At the time, the event celebrated gamers and the games they loved. In the decade since, it has grown into a corporate outlet for a very bloated games industry, often pushing agendas and towing shill corporate lines. This is the article, by the way, not me.
Yeah,
you can sort of tell how they sit on this one. They're not very favourable about Jeff Kiley and his awards show, let's say. Shilling corporate lines in an attempt to net exclusive trailers and announcements from huge studios. So
handsome.
The Game Awards winners are decided by a jury of industry experts, which consists of games journalists and established access media outlets such as IGN, Polygon, Variety, and PC Gamer, along with a public vote. However, the public vote only counts for 10% of the results, while the media jury gets 90% of the vote. So following a video by Colin Moriarty of the really cool YouTube channel back in December 2023 exposed the voting jury, the Game Awards deleted its jury page.
Interesting.
Bit interesting. So Kiley's show, I'm not going into some of this because some of this is a bit freaking ridiculous because it's starting to go down the lines of what some people would call the alt-right pipeline.
Oh, right. Let's not do that.
Well, Kiley's show even features a category called Games for Impact, which essentially celebrates the games that are what they quote as injected with the DEI. Yeah.
I mean, it's his show. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah. But anyway,
other people want to have shows. They should make their own award shows. We should make our own.
But this is where we're coming.
We are.
But this is where we're coming into it. So. This is where they talk about the Doritos Pope, obviously. So, I'm just scrolling through. So, anyway, Jeff Kiley this is a quote. This is a quote from Colin Moriarty on X or Twitter. Sorry, stated that Jeff Kiley is attempting to trademark Game Awards with the US Patent Office. So he also included screenshots of it. He said in his post, which also featured screenshots of the filings, meaning no one else will be able to host an award show with the words Game Awards in it. Which
I'm sorry, as a business person, I think that's a coup de grace, as they say.
But it seems a bit too generic to be able to actually trademark those particular words.
It's very generic.
They won't be able to trademark that. That's ridiculous.
That's the thing. You just try. If they don't, they don't. If they do, hey, that's a win. I want him in my pocket right now.
This move has been seen by some to be a direct threat to Stuttering Craig from the Side Scrollers podcast and his quote is hashtag Take Games Back initiative.
Oh my goodness.
He announced last spring that there's a new gaming awards show called The Real Game Awards where players vote on the winners instead of games journalists. Which I don't agree with.
They could call that Gamer's Choice Awards. That's what I would call it.
They could do, yeah, but I think this is the point, is that he actually wants it to be the game. Yeah, he's like... And he's turned around and he said he's had no problem with Jeff Kiley in the past. He's a businessman, do his thing. But to call this a Game Awards is a bit ironic because most of the, they're not actually enabling the vote of the gamers themselves as the majority, whereas he is. The only problem is he's then stating that people have got to pay for the right to vote, which that's not cool.
That's not cool.
Yeah.
We should start our own. We should call it Gamers' Choice Awards.
Well, we probably will at some point anyway.
Yeah, I know. Especially if we do the con, I'm absolutely doing an award show.
This is a quote from Craig, who, by the way, used to run Screw Attack. That stuttering Craig. Year after year, over and over, after the Game Awards, people say that there has to be a real award show for gamers. Well, let's do it. So if Kiley succeeds in his attempt to patent the Game Awards, he'll be able to bring legal action down to not only the real Game Awards, but other organisations that hold an award show with Game Awards in their title or description. Kiley, that might mean we're screwed for next year.
I don't believe that. Jeff would never do that to me.
Anyway, I don't think I'm going to go in much further about this because it's going into broad terms. It is.
It's speculation.
Yeah.
At this point.
A lot of
it's speculation.
Yeah, a lot of it is speculation. A lot of it is a bit ridiculous to some degree, I think. But I think Jeff Keighley trying to trademark Game Awards is...
I can't blame him.
Yeah, but
I think it's a winning move.
No, I don't think it is. I think it's absolutely asinine and ridiculous. I don't care who it is.
And he should have everything he wants.
Take your Jeff Keighley Dorito Pope loving hat off and look at this objectively. If you wanted to create an award show, which you have stated you want to do, and you want to use the word Game Awards, no, not a chance. Not allowed.
I would do something very silly that would get the attention of the media. Yeah, that's exactly what I would do. I would do it to the point where, because all of this is theater. It's a marketing theater. So I would do something to appeal to Jeff Keighley and, I just really want this to happen, and I can't believe the big bad Jeff Keighley has, taken this name and blah blah blah. It's all theater.
No, I know it is, but I also told you to take your hat off and be as objective as possible on this one.
If I'm being objective as a business person, I am on Jeff Keighley's side.
I'm not.
I know you're not, but
no, it's not through my bias or anything like that, but behind it. I just think that the fact that he's trying to trademark and copyright a very incredibly generic phrase means that this absolutely screws over anyone else.
That's like Trump trying to do "You're Fired" and Paris Hilton doing "That's Hot."
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't agree with that at all in either state as well.
But the fact that they were able to, yes, if I was in Jeff Keighley's shoes, I would absolutely do it. And that's up to, the patent office, whether they're going to do it or not. And I just go from there. But that's the thing. You just try everything. You throw all the spaghetti at the wall, see what sticks, and if it sticks, you go with it. That's my objective view. Now, my personal view, if I was trying to run an award show, I would do some kind of FU to Jeff. I would.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Craig is doing. He's trying to do an absolute Hail Mary FU to Jeff, which I can't disagree with. I think the way he's going about it is kind of wrong, though.
I mean, yeah, I absolutely agree with you there, but that is my bias to Jeff Keighley shown, I think.
Yeah.
Jeff Keighley's adorable.
Yeah. No.
He's so handsome.
No.
He's cute.
Anyway.
He's like 5'7".
Oh, now I'm starting to understand what it is.
Yeah, that's my thing, Pete.
Right, anyway, moving on. Because the day after that article from That Park Place came out,
yes,
the award show happened, or the awards nominations came out, and they were streamed live on YouTube, Twitch, the like. I'm not we usually do this in quite extensive detail. I'm going to run through some of the list of nominations, and we'll talk about some of it, and we'll not go into some of it as well, because
I'm getting sleepy now.
the speculation was indeed correct. Because Game of the Year had Shadow of the Erd Tree come up on it.
Yes.
But the nominations for the Game of the Year was Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, which, by the way, it was noted that they actually got the name of it wrong in the initial post on Twitter, which was very funny.
How? That's
called
such a well-known game.
They called it Black Myth Waking.
Okay, autocorrect. Okay.
Yeah, but still, it's a bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's a well-known game.
Yeah. Black Myth Wukong, Shadow of the Erd Tree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor ReFantasio. Best game direction was Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong. It's same nominations as freaking Game of the Year. I'm not going over it again. Best narrative was Rebirth, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Metaphor ReFantasio, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, and Silent Hill 2. Best art direction, Astrobot, Black Myth Wukong, Shadow of the Erd Tree, Metaphor ReFantasio, and Neva, which is the game by the developers of Grease, or Gris, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, right. Yes.
Best score and music, Astrobot, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Metaphor ReFantasio, Silent Hill 2, and Stellar Blade.
I actually like Stellar Blade.
Okay. Anyway, best audio design was Astrobot, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Hellblade 2, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, and Silent Hill 2. Best performance, Brianna White for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Hannah Tell for, or Tele, or however you pronounce it, is Life is Strange Double Exposure, Humberly Gonzalez for Star Wars Outlaws, Luke Roberts for Silent Hill 2, and Melina Jurgens for Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. Innovation and accessibility was Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Diablo 4, Dragon Age The Veilguard, by the way, the game that was lauded.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And people have forgotten all about that game already.
So disappointed in it.
Yeah.
Bunch of bugs.
Well, also incredibly crappy narrative, but you know.
Yeah, and I'm soft locked in it anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Don't care. Prince of Persia Ross Clown, bloody hell, Freudian slip. The Lost Crown and Star Wars Outlaws.
Yeah.
What game? Mike said, what game was that? Dragon Age The Veilguard, I believe.
Yeah.
Games for Impact, Closer to Distance, Indica, Neva, Life is Strange Double Exposure, Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, and Tales of Kenzera Zal. Best ongoing game.
I like that.
Best ongoing game. This might pee a couple of people off, by the way.
Okay.
Destiny 2, Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Helldivers 2.
It should be Destiny. It'll be Helldivers.
It won't. It'll be Fortnite.
No, it'll be Helldivers.
It will not. It will be Fortnite.
I wish it was Destiny.
I'm going to be honest, some of the patches that have come out for Helldivers has not been good.
Oh, right. I have not played Helldivers or Fortnite or Destiny in months. Oh my gosh, I really haven't.
You own Helldivers?
I'm pretty sure I do, and I haven't touched it.
Why the hell haven't you told me?
Because I've been playing Hitman.
You suck. I told you to tell me when you got Helldivers so we could jump in and play it. You suck.
Yes, you did. You did tell me that.
You suck.
That is true.
Anyway, best community support, Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, and No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky should win that. Should.
No, I think Baldur's Gate 3 should.
No Man's Sky's redemption arc should absolutely win the award for that because they've done so much, and every free update And it's been massive as well. That's what she said.
Well, you took the words out of my mouth.
Anyway, best independent game: Animal Well, Balatro, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, Neva, and UFO 50. Best debut indie game: Animal Well, Balatro, Manor Lords, Pacific Drive, and The Plucky Squire.
Pacific Drive! Oh, Plucky Squire will get it though. Pacific Drive would be amazing.
Best mobile game: AFK Journey, Balatro, Pokemon trading card game Pocket, Wuthering Waves, and Zenless Zone Zero. Best VR or AR game is Arizona Sunshine Remake, Asgard's Wrath 2, Batman Arkham Shadow, Metal Hellslinger VR, and Metro Awakening.
But I can't play VR, so it doesn't matter.
No. Best action game: Black Myth Wukong, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Stellar Blade, Warhammer 40k, Space Marine 2. That is quite the disappointment that hasn't got more nominations from what I've been hearing.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I like Stellar Blade, but they're not going to get it.
No, I meant Warhammer 40k. Like, Space Marine 2 is apparently really damn good.
I hear that. I have not tried it. I'll be very honest.
No, I've been wanting to play it. I think Kurt might have got rid of his copy because he was supposed to lend it to me.
Right.
Anyway, best action adventure game: Astro Bot, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, Silent Hill 2, Star Wars Outlaws, and Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. We'll talk more about it on Game of the Year, obviously, but I do like Star Wars Outlaws. I do.
Best RPG: Dragon's Dogma 2, Elden Ring: Shadow of the Erd Tree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth, and Metaphor ReFantasio. There's only one winner there.
That's Elden Ring's gonna get it. Like, there's no.
Here comes the controversy: remasters, remakes, collections. You know.
Yes, my favorite.
Best fighting game: Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Grand Blue Fantasy vs Rising, Multiverses, Tekken 8, Marvel vs Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics.
What? None of those are good.
No, even I think the Marvel vs Capcom one is a freaking joke.
Yeah, exactly. So is Multiverses.
Piece of crap that game is.
Yes, it is.
No, Tekken 8 was on there, Nana. Tekken 8.
Okay, well, yeah. I like Tekken. I do like Tekken.
I think, if anything, Sparking Zero is probably going to win that. Absolute gangbusters in terms of sales.
That's great.
Best family game: Astro Bot, Princess Peach Showtime. God, that game sucked, though.
I liked it.
It was really not good.
Yeah. I like what Mike said. He's trying to fill the nomination slot. Yeah. That's what most of this is.
Super Mario Party Jamboree, Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom, and The Plucky Squire.
Plucky Squire's going to take everything. Has to.
Oh my god! I've only just written no. Oh my god, what? That's really bad. I'll get to that in a minute. Best sim or strategy game: Age of Mythology Retold, Frostpunk 2, Kunitsugawa Path of the Goddess, Manor Lords, or Unicorn Overlord.
Gotta be Frostpunk. It has to be.
I would have said it would have been Kunitsugawa, but that game died almost on release.
Yeah.
Like, people forgot about that very quickly. So, best sports or racing game. I know Nana wanted to talk about this. This is appalling. Only two dev studios or two publishers have actually been nominated for this. Right. You all know who they are.
Go for it, EA.
F1 24, EA Sports FC 25, NBA 2K25, Topspin 2K25, and WWE 2K24.
And they're all terrible this year. That cricket game should win.
That is what cricket game? Cricket for the Ages.
Yeah.
I would never.
That should have been nominated.
Did it even come out this year?
No, it was last year.
Okay, that's probably why then. Right. Best multiplayer game: Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Tekken 8, Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. Oh dear. Best adaptation, so this will be best video game to TV or film adaptation.
Oh gosh, it's gonna make me angry, isn't it?
No, I think one might like. Arcane, Fallout, Knuckles, Like a Dragon Yakuza, Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft.
That's out?
Yeah, it's on Netflix. Apparently it's a piece of
What?
shite.
Oh no, Fallout.
Yeah, because everything else on there is kind of terrible apart from Arcane. Even Arcane Season 2 might be dropping the ball.
I mean, I haven't seen Arcane Season 2 because I think it'll make me too sad, but I'll still probably watch it. But Fallout for me, I loved the Fallout series. They did so well. I love it.
Anyway, I'm going to skip that category because I want to come back to it in a minute.
Okay.
Content Creator of the Year. Who cares?
Me!
Case O, Illy1, Techno Gamers, Typical Gamer, and Usada Pecora. Whoever the hell that is.
I don't care. They ain't me, so
Best
I don't
esports
care.
game, Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, League of Legends, or Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
League of Legends, always.
Probably. Right, I wanted to come back to this one because it's the most frickin' pointless award of all time. Most anticipated game.
Oh, it's so stupid. I hate this award, but yes, go for it.
Ghost of Yotei, GTA 6, Metroid Prime 4, Monster Hunter Wilde, and the obligatory must-have a Kojima game, Death Stranding 2.
It'll be GTA 6. It has to be.
This is a Jeff Keighley Awards. It's gonna be frickin' Death Stranding 2.
That is true. Pete makes a very valid point. Yes. Yeah.
Because he
Exactly, Mike.
he's got a suckle on Kojima's Diddy.
I really don't want to imagine that, but I do like imagining Jeff Keighley.
Anyway, I think most of these are shit.
I have to agree with you, Pete.
I think most of these are absolutely terrible. Like, it's been a pretty good year for games, to some degree. Listen. It's been a pretty good game for indie games. A pretty good year for indie games this year. It's been fantastic. And not a lot of them have even got much of a nod.
Now that, you're correct.
Plucky Squire's got a nod. Where the hell is Thank Goodness You're Here?
Right. No, I agree. We need an indie award.
Yep. There's been some really, really, really good games this year in terms of that. I mean, Balatro obviously getting on Game of the Year. I'm quite happy about it because indie developer and a somewhat unique idea as well. But there clearly is absolutely no love for indie games whatsoever. This is all about AAAs.
But I mean, like, I do obviously, like, I'm joking. But I do really like Jeff.
Yeah.
But I'm also very aware, and Jeff is about mainstream AAAs because he is. Pete jokingly calls him Jeff Sheely. He's not wrong. He's not wrong, as we know. So no, you're not going to see a lot of indie presence at the Game Awards, which is a shame, but also expected. I hate to say it. I probably won't be watching this year. I actually only watched last year for a reason. I
know why.
Probably won't be watching because there's nothing there that I like. I'm trying to. There's Hitman's not there.
They haven't had. Like, they've had updates, obviously. I'm actually surprised that Hitman 3 VR didn't make it onto the VR list, but there are some
really bad when it came out. But
all right, fair enough. But there are other VR games that have come out that have been more impactful, let's say, I guess. So.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I'm just gonna say it, and it's okay. I want to be very clear. It's okay if you disagree with me. That is A-okay. These are just opinions. It doesn't mean anything at the end of the day. I have not liked this year. There's not been that much that's come out. I've struggled to find 4 games of the year. that
I
our
haven't.
Game of the Year
I'm
show.
pretty sure I know what my last pick is actually going to be.
Well, there you go. But I have struggled because I did wrongly, again, don't listen to me, wrongly predicted that Ubisoft was going to just have a banner year. They did not.
Oh dear, Star Wars Outlaws ended up being pretty bad.
Yeah, and then they didn't even release, is it Shadows? Mirage? Whatever it's
Shadows.
called. Shadows. And then the only thing they did release that was good was Prince of Persia because this pirate one, Skull and Bones, that was not good. Yeah, that was not good. That was not good. I'm quite disappointed. So all of my predictions have fallen flat. This has not been a good year for me personally for games. Your mileage may vary, and that's okay. So I have no real interest in the Game Awards this year. Nothing to me is ever going to top 2018's Game of the Year, Game Awards. 2018 Game Awards.
Oh, what, when they had God of War and Red Dead Redemption 2 going up against each other?
Yes, and it was just like every category was just winner after winner after winner, like bangers, you know?
They had some really good games with it.
That was a great year. Nintendo had like done so well. They did so well in 2017. And then 2018 hit and it was just, they released, like Nintendo was releasing just hit after hit, but then we got, like Pete just said, God of War, Red Dead Redemption 2, just hit after hit. I just was like spoiled for choice in 2018. That's not been repeated since, obviously because, you know, lockdown and stuff like that. So this year for me, not great. Not a great year for me. Yes, exactly. Mike Tindo says, I'll be getting a good night's sleep when the VGA airs. Me too.
I 100% will not even bother watching it. I will just read the results and go, I don't care.
Like, we like to kind of host stuff like that.
Not this year, I won't.
This year. There's just nothing.
Not a chance.
Nothing. They ain't nothing. And stuff. But anyway, so that's my opinion on that, which is just an opinion, as we always like to say.
Yep.
You can have a completely different opinion, and it's A-okay.
You can, yeah, and I don't disagree with your opinion whatsoever, but I think this has been a particularly poor year in terms of the nominations and everything. It's going to put me off, and the fact is that there are other games out there that are probably more worthy than Shadow the frickin' Erdtree getting on. A game that you can't even play without actually owning Elden Ring.
See,
And I know why this got nominated as well. It's like, oh look, we got this big thing for Summer Games Fest a couple of years ago where we got the exclusive reveal of bloody Elden Ring. So it's like, oh, we better make sure we have it twice in a row. Up for Game of the Year last year, and now it's up for Game of the Year this year. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke.
Just ain't my thing.
Anyway.
Yes.
F Jeff Keighley, F the Game Awards. I don't give a crap. Screw you.
No, Jeff Keighley, you're so adorable. I want you in my pocket.
Care. Screw off. Anyway.
He's so cute. I think he's younger than us.
Where's Pine Hearts?
Well, see? We've got your own award show, Pete.
Okay.
After the convention.
Yeah, sure. We will. We'll do it.
It'd be Indie Awards.
Indie-centric award show. That's...
Yes.
Sorry, Debug.
It's not fair. Well, no, we will not. We will never compete against Debug. Ever.
No, we shall not. Anyway, that's the end of the news this week. We've gone nearly an hour and a half.
I know, right? Okay,
I didn't think we would, but hey. Good show.
What she said.
Anyway, who knows? You may not agree. You may agree. Who knows?
And that's okay.
Let us know what you think in either the YouTube comments, the Spotify playlist, whatever. If you didn't like the show, please tell us why and we can improve, or tell you to go screw yourself. No, I'm joking.
No.
I wouldn't do that. No, I'm joking.
Pete is joking. He's joking.
I am joking. We appreciate any and all feedback, whether it's positive or negative, and how we can improve on the show. So you can do so by doing that on Blue Sky, or Twitter, or Discord, or on Spotify or YouTube.
I'm literally not on any of those.
I didn't mean you.
Not to our faces.
I didn't mean you.
I know, but I was just thinking like, oh.
But to close this show out, something that we should have been doing for several weeks. should have been doing for several weeks. Please visit rapidreviewsuk.com for the latest reviews.
Wow.
So for the last few days, or for the last week, we've had Zero to Kamikaze Squirrel review by Joseph Baroud. There is a UFI Solar Cam review, so if you're into your tech, Mike, the Overlord Mike has written a review on that, as well as Seb Howden's review on Mario and Luigi Brothership. So those are the week's reviews, and I know there are a few scheduled for the coming week, so keep your eye on out for
There's
those.
a bunch dropping this week. Actually.
There is a few, so rapidreviewsuk.com.
Yes.
That's that.
Yes, so Pete, where can they find you besides this wonderful, beautiful, fabulous podcast that we are on now?
You can find me on the Twitter and the Blue Sky social media pages for Rapid Reviews Radio Podcast.
Yeah,
I'm trying to do a bit more on Blue Sky, but Blue Sky, I don't think it's that great still, but it's getting better, I guess. But anyway, Twitter isn't much better anyway. But you can also find me in various Discord servers, including Mike Tendo 64, Rapid Reviews, and a few others that I'm neglecting a little bit. But you can find myself and previous guest Kurt on the Never Watchers podcast. We are actually doing Agatha All Along this week. I wanted to do it last week, but we had to delay it by a week. So, yeah, we should be recording it, and you'll get to hear my full thoughts on that one. So, I also did a recent episode with Mike Tendo 64 on the Game and Chat podcast, talking about the state of WASD and the UK gaming convention scene too. So please go and give that a check out as well. That's on YouTube and various different podcast players as well. Kiley, talk streaming.
Yes.
Talk you. Promote yourself.
I'm not anywhere except...
Settle in for the next 20 minutes, guys.
That's right. Put your feet up. You're gonna love this. You can find me at twitch.tv/KILEY_WILDE, where I just saw Pete. He is literally kicking back. Where I stream Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 p.m. UK time. Mondays are our Mayhem Mondays. Wednesdays are our Weird Wednesdays. And Friday are our Frightening Fridays. Do you like the alliteration? Because I sure do. Sometimes I will also stream when I'm lonely and sad. But the streams themselves are never sad. We're always laughing and having a good time. We have a wonderful, wonderful, I was going to say nation, but I meant community. I guess we could be the nation, the Dragon Cave Nation, where, and I mentioned this earlier, but I'm going to mention it again. Brent gave me a wonderful compliment. He said, I love coming here because there's no judgment. And that is how it is at the Dragon Cave over on my Twitch. You can be as weird as you want. There's nothing is off limits. You can be yourself. No one's going to judge you. The only rule we have is that you don't hurt anybody. We don't do that. Not in the Dragon Cave.
What about if I hurt myself?
Don't hurt yourself either, because yourself is the person. So no hurting yourself or anybody else.
Just wanted that clarified. Thank you.
Yes, there you go. But we do have a lot of fun. We laugh so much. If you're looking for a positive, just laugh a minute, Nana is a mod over there too, a wonderful mod. And Mike is not wrong. Mike says, and every other day is Hitman Day, or rather every day ending in the word day is Hitman Day. That is true. I'm not going to lie.
Any day ending with Y is Hitman Day.
I'm absolutely obsessed with 47 right now. And like I mentioned at the top of the hour, I don't know if we did it on the recording or not. I'm thinking of doing a deep dive into 47.
We did that on the pre-stream, I believe.
Oh, okay. So be looking for that because I am obsessed. But it's all done in good fun. We don't take anything serious. Currently we're playing Resident Evil 7. We're going to be finishing up Mouthwashing, which is, like I said, an indie game, but it's a surrealistic, I'm not pronouncing that correctly. It's a surrealistic game. And then on Mondays, we just play FPSs, and I'm going to try and get a new game in there for my little variety streamer header. And it's just a fun place. You can just do whatever. You can say whatever. As long as you're not hurting anybody else, I don't care. I don't care as long as we're laughing and having a good time. But I do want to always say, I say this on my stream and I'm saying it here, I want to thank everyone who is watching us over on YouTube, because holy crap, I crossed the 60K views. 60,000 views. People have watched my crap 60,000 times. Pete, why?
Yeah, why?
Why would you do that? It's crazy. But yes, we have a lot of fun there. I'm also over on TikTok. I don't check TikTok regularly. I kind of just check in there, read comments, and then dip.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I mean, it's got traction. It's doing pretty well. I mean, I don't know what well constitutes for TikTok, but so YouTube, TikTok, Twitch. I think that's it. I technically have a Twitter account, but I kept getting tagged in these weird posts, and then I came to find out, as I've said before, there's an adult actress named Kylie. Yeah, Kiley Wilde, and people got confused and thought I was her. I'm not her. No judgment. Make that dollar. It's not me. It's not me. It's not how I do. But no judgment for anyone who does. So that's always fun. Yes, Mike. I'm serious, and don't call me Shirley. From one of my favorite movies, Airplane. Anyway, that's not
Brilliant.
the point. The point is, come join us. I'm two away from affiliate. When we make affiliate, I'm gonna have a giant party. We're gonna have so much fun. I'm gonna probably do a giveaway, and then I will show you the roadmap that I have for the Dragon Cave for the next year. It's gonna be fun. We are gonna make a difference, and you're gonna have a place where you can be yourself. I don't care.
Holy crap, you didn't tell me about one of our podcast clips being on your channel on TikTok. Yeah, thanks for that.
Are you on my TikTok now? Yeah, there is. I don't remember which one it is. Which one is it? Oh my goodness, there you go.
Someone with CD and Mike being on there.
Yeah, I think that was the one where I made Brienne and Captain Hook kiss.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But still, I just wanted to go and have a look and see. But yeah, you're averaging probably about 220 to 250 views per video.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that. I'm quite happy with that. It's 200 people with their eyes on me. And hopefully that will drive them, to Twitch. But I have to admit, I'm not... I have applied for a TikTok key, so you probably see me streaming on there soon.
Mm-hmm. Just make sure you get it set up so that it actually has landscape viewing.
That's the thing.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
Because so what I did was last Monday, I did a multi-stream. Wait, no, it was Wednesday. I did a multi-stream. I streamed both to Twitch and YouTube. I had the option of streaming to TikTok. But I'm not ready yet because I need to set up that vertical. Yeah,
I was looking into it, and to obviously try and do this, but
I have to I'm gonna have to spend a whole day, Pete, trying to figure out that.
That is a discussion that we need to have at some point anyway about what's going on next year. We're gonna discuss it, so don't worry about it.
But I've got so much going on this week, but don't be surprised if you do see me on TikTok. Stop by, say hello. I'm fine with that. Yes, I have now talked way too much. So that's going to do it for the podcast portion of this show. I hope you've enjoyed it. You got to see me take my goofy, silly hat off and put my businesswoman hat on.
And then go straight back to goofy silliness.
Yeah, I like that. I like being silly. But I also like making money, so there you go. That's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for joining us on the podcast. And you can come check us out at twitch.tv/rapid reviews, where you can join in the conversation every Sunday around 7 to 7:30 UK time.
And just a tease for next week's episode, we have got an interview with a developer of an upcoming game. So be on the lookout for that 7 p.m. UK time next week.
You do not want to miss this. I'm telling you, it's a good one. I mean, they're all good, but this is a really good one. Anyway, that's going to do it for us. So we will see you and talk to you next week. Bye.
Screw you, Kiley. Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Rapid Reviews Radio podcast. You can find the podcast on Anchor FM, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and various other podcast platforms. You can also find the video version by searching Rapid Reviews on YouTube and watch the podcast recording live on Twitch at twitch.tv/rapidreviews at 7:30pm UK time every Sunday. Please make sure to follow the podcast on Twitter at RRRadiopod, and for all the latest reviews visit www.rapidreviewsuk.com or on Twitter at RapidReviewsUK.